Schema Lite is a melodic sequencer plugin that uses a 4-layer engine so that you can craft captivating sequences. You will quickly find that Schema Lite gives you a source of new ideas. Whether you're creating a film score or electronic soundscape, even as a hip-hop producer, you will find some inspiration. The Schema engine revolves around a 16-step sequencer in which you can sculpt, process bells, keys, pluck strings, xylophones, and more. Today, I'm here to show you a glimpse of Schema Lite. I will leave the download link in the description below. What exactly is Schema Lite? Schema Lite is a multi-layer loop player. In each of the 4 independent tempo sync layers, a different loop is chopped into 16 slices. These slices can be played back in any order according to the chosen pattern, with individual fine-tuning for each step in the pattern. All 4 layers are stacked and played together in loop. Main page. The main page is the default page displayed when other pages are closed. It shows a visual representation of the instrument. In the 4x4 grid, each circle represents one of the 16 steps of the sequencer. Within each circle, the color quarters represent slices played on that step in various layers. Each color represents one layer. If a layer doesn't play any slice on that step, its quarter is off. The colored quarters light up when played. Since the 4 layers can play different patterns with different lengths and at different rates, this gives you a quick overview of the play position in each layer and how the various layers combine. Macros and performance controls. The macros and performance controls are always visible at the bottom of the instrument. These controls adjust key loop or effect parameters for immediate tweaking of sounds. Layer tabs. The 4 colored layer tabs are always visible. They let you tweak each individual layer. Main mixer, effects, and keyboard buttons. These buttons are always visible in the top right corner of the instrument. The main button returns to the main page. The mixer button opens the mixer page, which lets you adjust the mix between 4 layers. The effects button opens the effects page, where you can configure 2 synth effects for your layers. The keyboard button opens the key mapping page, which shows you how to control Schema Lite from your MIDI keyboard. Scale engine. The scale engine is always visible at the top left corner of the instrument. It automatically transposes notes of the current sequence when playing it across different keys of the keyboard to fit in the selected scale. Layer tabs. The 4 color layer tabs are always visible. They detail settings for each individual layer. By default, each layer tab contains the following elements. On the left, the layer icon, little quarter, indicates the color and position of the layer. Clicking the layer icon opens the layer edit page, which lets you precisely adjust all parameters for that layer. On the right, the tab displays the name of the loop loaded in that layer. Clicking the loop name opens the browser, which allows you to load other loops and settings into the layer. Furthermore, when you hover over a layer tab with your mouse, additional controls appear for that layer. Layer on, off activates or deactivates the layer. When you deactivate a layer, its audio turns off, and all its controls are grayed out and inactive. This button is equivalent to channel on-off button available on the mixer page. Previous/next loop loads the previous or next loop from Schema Lite library into the next layer. Browse opens the browser for that layer. This is equivalent to clicking the loop name. Random loop loads a random loop from Schema Lite library into this layer. Macros and performance controls. The macros and performance controls enable you to play and tweak key parameters in an intuitive way. No matter which page is displayed in Schema Lite, the macros and performance controls are always visible at the bottom of the instrument. The following macros and performance controls are visible. Layers. Adjust the stacking of active layers. You can control this parameter from the modulation wheel on your MIDI keyboard or using your mouse in the user interface. With the control fully down, only the first active layer can be heard. As you move the control upwards, the other active layers are progressively blended in, one after another. With the wheel fully up, all active layers are fully audible. The control element shows little colored dots that represent the active layers and in which order they are stacked up. Macros. Each macro affects a key parameter in the four layers and provides global control over a specific sonic aspect of your sound. You can finely adjust the influence of the macros over each layer and even over each single step of the pattern playing in that layer. Effect return controls. Adjust the intensity of both send effects and the overall sound. Each control displays the name of the effect selected in the corresponding effect unit of the effects page. A click on the little on/off button next to a control turns that effect on or off. When an effect is off, it cannot be heard, and the control is grayed out and inactive. Volume adjusts the main output level of the instrument. Scale engine. In the top left-hand corner of Schema Lite, you can find the scale engine. It enables playing melodic sequences across the keyboard, keeping the harmonic relationship between notes intact. It also allows you to quickly adapt presets to fit to the key of an existing project. The scale engine includes the following controls. Key. The root key of the current scale. Clicking it opens a drop-down menu to select a root. Scale. The current scale. Clicking the name of the scale opens a drop-down menu to select one of 35 scales. Lock icon. Locks the scale to stay selected when switching presets. Unlocking it results in the scale to default to chromatic when a new preset is loaded. Browser. Schema Lite's browser lets you to load loops and settings from Schema Lite library into the desired layers. Furthermore, it allows you to save and recall your own settings for patterns and layers. The browser is available in all four layers. It is split in two parts, the loop browser on the left, the setting browser on the right. To open the loop browser for a particular layer, click the loop name or the magnifying glass in the Layer tab. The browser contains the following global elements. Layer name displays the name of the selected layer. The selected layer is also indicated by the highlighted tab above. All your actions in the browser will affect that layer. Loop browser selects a loop from Schema Lite library. The selected loop is directly loaded into the layer so that you can quickly hear it in context. You can cancel your changes by closing the browser using the close button, X icon. Settings browser selects pattern settings from Schema Lite library. You can also save and recall your own setting files. The selected settings are directly loaded into the layer so that you can quickly hear them in context. You can cancel your changes by closing the browser using the close button, X icon. Close. Also the X icon closes the browser, canceling any loop and settings selections you made. The layer returns to its previous state. OK. The checkmark icon loads the selected loop and settings permanently into the layer and closes the browser. Loop browser. The loop browser lets you load another loop from Schema Lite library into the selected layer. The new loop is combined with the existing pattern and layer settings. The loop browser takes up the left half of the browser. It contains the following elements. Browser name displays the name of the file type you are browsing. This can be either loop on the left side or settings on the right side. Category filter filters the list of entries to the selected categories. You can click the categories to make your selection. The selected categories are highlighted. Clicking all resets the list and displays all entries again. Loop list displays the list of loops available in the selected categories. Click the desired loop to load it into the layer and replace the existing loop. Scroll bar moves through the entire list by clicking and dragging the mouse vertically. Number of entries displays the number of entries in the list for the selected categories compared to the total number of entries available in all categories. Settings Browser. The Settings Browser lets you load other pattern settings from the Schema Light library into the selected layer. The new pattern settings are combined with the existing loop. The new settings replace all existing settings in the pattern edit panels, except the filter type and the resonance settings cutoff panel, as well as the slur settings, cutoff, volume, and pitch panels. The Settings Browser takes up the right half of the browser. It contains the following elements: browser name, category filter, settings list, scroll bar, number of entries, pattern slots, load settings from file, save settings to file. Pattern slots lets you select a pattern slot from the 3 available in the layer. The selected slot is highlighted and contains the active pattern. The settings that you select from the list underneath will be loaded onto the active pattern. Layer Edit Pages. The layer edit pages allow you to precisely configure the behavior of the loop played in each layer, including the pattern and the layer settings. To open the layer edit page of a particular layer, click the colored quarter icon left of the label in the desired layer tab. To close the page and return to the main page, click the little cross in the top right corner of the page. You can also switch directly to another page by clicking its dedicated button or tab. A layer edit page consists of 3 main areas: pattern area, pattern edit panels, playback and sends area. Selecting a pattern. In the left part of the layer editing page, the pattern area allows you to select patterns both for playing and editing. The pattern area contains the following elements: slot selection and preset section. Slot selection contains 3 pattern slots available in the layer. These slots let you quickly switch between your preferred patterns. The highlighted slot indicates the active pattern. This pattern is loaded in the layer and its settings are displayed and can be modified in the pattern edit panels in the middle of the page. Any modification you make in the pattern edit panel or in the preset section below will always affect the pattern in the highlighted slot. You can load another pattern at any time by clicking another pattern slot. The selected pattern will be used for playback in this layer and its details will show up in the pattern edit panels. Preset section contains presets to quickly replace the entire sequence in the pattern. Presets are available for each of the pattern edit panels. Pattern edit panels. In the middle part of the layer edit page, a series of panels allows you to edit in detail the settings for each step in the loaded pattern. Slices panel. The Slices panel lets you configure 2 essential features. By default, you can activate or deactivate each single step of the pattern. Only active steps will be played. In recorder mode, you can record the slices in the pattern by defining which slice should be played on each step. Mixer page. The mixer page allows you to adjust the mix between the 4 layers. To open the mixer page, click the mixer button in the top right corner of the instrument. The mixer page provides 4 channels, each of them controlling 1 layer. The channels mirror the color of their layer. Each channel consists of the following elements. Number 1, channel on and off button. Number 2, level fader and level meters. Number 3, pan slider. And number 4, channel selector. Effects page. The effects page allows you to configure the 2 effect units of Schema Light. Both effect units are available as send effects for all 4 layers of the instrument. Available effects include 2 reverbs, a delay, a chorus, phaser, and a flanger. My hopes are that you have found this overview of Schema Light to be helpful. Again, to download Schema Light, click the link in the description box below. I will place the link at the top of the description box for your convenience. If you have found this video to be helpful, click the like button and be sure to subscribe for more content.